I read in Matthew chapter 19, verse 3, chapter 19, verse 3, verse 12. Some Pharisees came to him to test him. They asked, "Is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife for any and every reason?" And this is what Jesus said. "Haven't you read that in the beginning the Creator made the male and female and said, for this reason a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate." And then the Pharisees then said this, "Then why did Moses command that a man give his wife a certificate of divorce and send her away?" Jesus replied, "Moses permitted you to divorce your wives because your hearts were hard. But it was not this way from the beginning. I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife except for sexual immorality and marries another woman commits adultery." The disciples said to him, "If this is the situation between a husband and wife, is it better not to marry?" Jesus replied, "Not everyone can accept this word, but only those whom it has been given. For there are eunuchs who were born that way, and there are eunuchs who have been made eunuchs by others, and there are those who choose to live like eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. The ones who can accept this should accept this." I'm going to probably say this as firmly as a video I made a couple of months ago. God hates divorce, plain and simple as that. It is no excuse in the eyes of the Lord for you to divorce your wife, or vice versa, for you to divorce your husband. Like Jesus said, let no man separate. And if you listen to the liar of Satan, or listen to the lies of the devil, saying that you should divorce because you committed sexual immorality, or the reason why you should divorce your husband or your wife because your wife's not doing enough for the family, this and that. Don't listen to Satan. Listen to Jesus. You, husband, are supposed to be in charge of the marriage, and the one that's above you is Jesus. It is Jesus, it is the husband, the wife, and the children. Do not also listen, even though they speak truth about this, don't even listen to the Republicans who speak about marriages and all this stuff. The reason why marriages end up turmoil is because the heart condition is not good for both the mother and father, or one of the other. But that should be no excuse. Love is not a feeling. Because if that were so, then everybody would be marrying. But actually, if you have a desire or a drive to be with someone, be careful that it's not lust. Because if you marry for lustful reasons, your marriage is immediately going to be destroyed. And that's why people are divorcing and are ending up in turmoil. That's why children that grow up to be youthful teenagers and adults become pedophiles, perverts, rapists, sexually immoral, promiscuous women, murderers, drug dealers, possessed men and women. They become suicidal, depressed, full of anxiety and fear. And the parents let this happen. And not only that, but even the parents even raise them up to be like that, and letting the TV let them grow up. But yet the parents are not putting the hard work, or even doing the hard work to teach the children to do what is right and upright. For you to follow Jesus, husband or wife, you are going to be constantly crushed no matter what. And even as a husband and wife, you will be more crushed and more squeezed and molded into God's image. Because for a husband and wife, you must hold up to that standard. God hates divorce, plain and simple as that. If there is a point that you do need to separate, it would be better that you do not divorce with filing legal papers and separate for like a month or two so that cooler heads can prevail. I do not say this to encourage divorce. I say this to encourage the husband and wife to take courage and reorganize yourselves and to repent and to get right with Jesus and then get right with your spouse. But like I'm gonna say, always go to Jesus with your marriage. Don't let others say that, oh, you should just divorce your husband, or oh, you should just leave your wife and go and sleep with that woman, or go to the prostitution ring down the street. Don't listen to any of them. I would really want to encourage anyone who wants to marry, count even the cost with being a married man or a married woman. Because marriage is hard. Obviously, you guys can tell I'm not married. And I am not a husband, nor am I a boyfriend of someone, nor am I in relations with anyone. Before I was in relations with someone, meaning that I dated someone, but even then I was tempted by a few people to date this one girl, but that whole thing led to a disaster and a headache and a half after a week. And then a year and a half later, then things completely went to turmoil with everything in my life because I chose lustful things and wicked words that caused almost near destruction and did cause destruction to myself and around to others. And I encourage you guys to get lust out of your life, both men and women alike. Even get homosexuality and heterosexuality or anything that has a sexuality that is wicked in the eyes of the Lord out of your life. If you have to get social media out of your life, get that out of your life. If you have to get people out of your life, get people out of your life. Marriage is sacred. It is important. And let no man, or don't let anyone try to say you should get divorced. No. Cut that wicked person out of your life if they are going to encourage you to separate or to divorce. Let no one destroy your marriage. If Jesus somehow strikes down your wife or your husband and somehow you marry someone, then you know what? If the Lord allows you to be married again with another spouse, when the other spouse that you were first married with, basically what I'm saying is, then marry them if the Lord allows it to be. But if the person is still alive and you decide while you're divorced, oh well, I'm getting married, then, or I think you guys know what I'm trying to say, then really consider what you're doing. But like I said, always take your questions to Jesus. Don't compare it or just read to the Bible and then just say, Lord, guide me into what I need to do, and then just not do what Jesus says or whatever it may be. I've seen divorces happen within the past few years, and it all leads to the wrath of God against them, or one person individually because they divorced them, but then God helps them to be raised back up. So I really want to tell you, do not divorce. Make things right with your spouse. Quit arguing, and actually don't concede to, oh, we should just get divorced. Concede of the fact that You need Jesus Christ. You need Jesus. Plain and simple as that. So that your marriage may be good and well. May Jesus Christ bless your day and night.